Hi everyone, we're live. Ksenia, Snowy Academy instructor here, and today I have a guest, Zonke, the founder of Platinum Agency. Hi, and how are you doing?
Hi, Xenia. Nice to see you again. And I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm super excited. I already told you behind the scenes that I can't wait to see the whole webinar. I can't wait to hear all the information. It's from what I saw the behind the scenes. It's super, super insightful, and I want more. So, guys, while we're waiting for everyone to join, I would love you to drop in the chat where are you joining us from? So, where you are watching us from. And with Sonke, we will have a small chat. How many years are you in cold emailing? So, like when you started, like a little bit of your journey, how you started and how you come up to that point when you are right now a founder of your own agency.
Yeah, sure. So I've been into sales since 2020. So during COVID, I got my first sales job, and it was a very crazy journey because again, like before there weren't any sequencers, it was just me pasting emails in Outlook through working myself up the career ladder and software sales until eventually I thought, okay, with all these new tools and AI leverage you can do, why not start my own agency? And that's what I've done like 2 years ago. And now I have my own agency. We send roughly like 200,000 emails per month on behalf of our clients. And it's a bit different than when I started out.
Yep. Impressive. So we have here people from India, Singapore, Spain, Malaysia, Brazil, US. Hi, everyone. And guys, I have a question for you too. What is your biggest frustration right now in cold emailing? This is the question to the audience. Definitely, we will right now ask Zunka what he thinks about it. So, but we will ask him about that time when he started. So we have people also from Moldova. So, Zunka, what kind of frustrations or let's say difficulties you had when you started in 2020? Yes, there was a COVID time, but still.
But do you mean the
Like,
challenges?
yeah, the challenge is like every person that comes to some, doing something new, they face, difficulties. When I started, the thing that for me was not hard because that's the deliverability thing. I knew a lot of things about that. So for me, it was fine. For some people, that's a huge challenge. And, sometimes they just then get surprised that there are also some kind of DNS settings, really. So, yeah. But for me at that time, there was a copy. I honestly, I will confess that I sent templated emails with no personalization, and they were super generic at the beginning. So yeah, what was for you?
I mean, first is, 2020 was a very different time, but I also just sent templated emails, so no worries on that side. I would say, especially right now when I see the chat, low reply rates, getting replies, and even someone says in the era of AI, reply rate drops. The statistics don't lie. Cold email is getting harder. Every single year, we're seeing that the reply rates are getting lower. And this is, I think, for several reasons. One is, of course, that the noise has just gone up because on the one side, we are all able to use these amazing AI tools, whether it's like high volume sequencers, we can create lots of different copies using any LLM we want. But everyone can do this now. Not everyone can do it well. And this is where I see still a huge chance to stand out if you only master a few more frameworks and skills that go beyond just what everyone else is doing. And this is why we, have it, of course, harder to stand out, but there's still tons of opportunities to stand out if you're doing it right. And this is, of course, something we're going to cover in.
Yeah. So we have some responses. I will read some of them. Probably you guys will find the answers in Zonke's presentations today. So the problem is getting the replies, low reply rate, no replies, content, correct lead list plus perfect HTTP, opening rate, and low replies. Okay, personalization, reply rate. Yeah, so I think spam filters also getting smarter. Yeah, that's right. So not only we are growing and developing, also the AI and their spam filters also developing and getting better. I think the winner here is low reply rate. And correct me if I'm wrong, Zonke. A reply rate has been always something like the huge pain in cold emailing. So this is something people are willing to get all the time to increase it, to get more replies, to get more meetings booked. This is what one of the biggest aim of the cold emailing. And yes, it's one of the hardest. So, guys, we are about to start. You have the opportunity to ask the questions during the live stream. Zonke will look at the chat and respond them once he has time and finish the section. And also, I think Zonke will tell you something that he can do for you. I think, right? So that so you will explain what you should do, guys, to get that help, so to say.
Yes. So, I mean, thank you first of all for joining, everyone. Like, it really means a lot to me that you put your trust into me teaching you things about cold email. And if you have any cold emails that aren't currently landing, by the end of the session, feel free to put your cold email templates into the chat, so I can just review them live and can give you some ideas on how to potentially improve it.
So don't miss the chance. It's really cool. And guys, I also have the email that I will show you at the end. And Zonke will give his expert opinion on that. And just a small spoiler, you will be shocked that the people send such emails. So let's start. I'm adding the presentation. You guys enjoy. And Zonke, please welcome.
Okay, hi everyone. First of all, the dog that was barking in the background wasn't mine, it's from the neighbors. And in today's session, we're going to cover lots of things. So feel free, again, like Xenia said, to ask any questions in the chat, because there's going to be lots of things to take in. We're going to talk about frameworks we use, different copy archetypes. What a copy archetype is, I will explain shortly. How to build sequences, personalization that makes sense and doesn't feel like AI, because again, in the last year, personalization has also been overused. And at the end, like we said, we're going to be doing live teardowns. So first, there's 3 laws that are really important, and I want you to always keep them in mind, is that it's never really about being and writing the smartest email. It's just about the relevance. So put away any sort of personalization and just think about a way to bring across the offering of your company to the person, to the receiving person. The second one is that you should always, and by any means, always have only one goal per email. Whether it's booking a meeting directly, which for most use cases isn't recommended anymore, can be also earning a reply. So, hey, I'm interested, please send me over this lead magnet. Please send me over that case study, that one pager, free audit, whatever you can offer, have one goal in mind and not combining several call to actions like, if this is interesting, feel free to book a call, and mix it up. The third thing is that your prospect doesn't owe you anything, like literally nothing. You're just disturbing their day. And we're doing it professionally on behalf of our clients. So we're just always disturbing everyone's day. And to not expect or demand anything is really important as well. Like these are all 3 are more like mindset things you should always keep in mind from now on. And the last thing is, if you aren't seeing any replies after like 500 cents or even more, depending on how many emails and people you contact in each campaign, you might want to check your deliverability, which is again a very technical thing. We're not going to cover this, but you might not even land in that inbox anymore, but you might go directly to spam. Okay, now there's actually 5 layers. I have no idea where the 5th one went, but it's actually 5 layers. The first one is, of course, we already discussed. We're looking at the deliverability, if they even reach the inbox or not. The second one is the overall engagement, which I took out because we don't really want to track open rates. I saw it in the chat that someone was also talking about open rates. If you enable it, it can trigger spam filters, and you might also get sent into spam. The third one is the response that we're always tracking. Obviously, there's 2 different responses we're tracking, which is overall responses, which again can be a significant indication for we're on the right track. But if we're seeing positive replies getting up, obviously positive replies mean that we are definitely on the right way. The last, and this is also the 4th layer, the positive replies, if they are positive at all. And then we also need to track, and this is really, really important, the conversion. Are people actually booking a meeting or not? Because if they request a lead magnet and you send over 1-pager case study audit and whatnot, and they never reply, they never book the call, and they just ghost you, you need to look again at your entire process that maybe that there's something wrong with the conversion. Again, this is only for filling the top of funnel. If you look into the sales process, this gets a whole, this gets even more complicated, of course, if you look at, okay, how's the discovery call going? How's the pitch meeting going? But again, we are talking about only booking meetings. And again, these are actually 5 layers, not 4. And when we are creating copy, there's a framework. Some maybe might have seen it already because it's honestly a bit famous these days. It's called Spark Framework. And depending on how advanced or how, depending on 2 things, if you're not getting any results right now, I would highly recommend, honestly, highly recommend to just stick to the rules, because all these rules and all these ideas and frameworks I'm presenting here right now to you is very easy to follow. And if you're getting 0 replies or hardly any, follow all these frameworks. But if you're, of course, seeing more replies and you're feeling more confident, feel free to break the rules. Pretty much with everything, like any artist does, feel free to break the rules. But for now, if you're not getting any replies, just follow these and you're super fine. Starting with the subject line. Obviously, right now, what we're seeing is the smaller the subject lines are, the better. 2 words, if you can make it 3, 5 words maximum. And also think about what that ICP is that you're sending the email to. And one exercise that I always like to do when I write copy is bring up a LinkedIn profile or 2 LinkedIn profiles of those people you are reaching out to. And just put on, what I like to do is put on my SDR hat from back in the day and really think about, okay, how does that person look like? What's their experience like? Do they post any LinkedIn content? Just so I get a better picture of someone in my head instead of just a name or just an email address, which again is very abstract to us humans. So again, think about what kind of subject line, what's their world. If they're a head of marketing, okay, what kind of KPIs are important for them? What kind of trends are important for them? Personalized onboarding, a personalized opening. Again, we want to reference a signal, but also put more, and this is also on the next slides, is we want to put more thought process into that signal. So a really famous one is, okay, I see you're hiring SDRs, please buy our AI SDR. That's such a easy and lazy personalization that clearly, at least right now, for lots of prospects will be, giving them the feeling, hey, you're clearly using AI. But if you put some thought into this into this signal that you're seeing, like I see you're hiring SDRs, you probably want to, like you might have gotten a bigger pipeline goal for this year or a bigger revenue goal to achieve as a VP of sales. How about we help you in X or Y way? So again, not having like a signal and just being very lazy, but putting some interpretation in it, why that signal is actually happening for that specific company or person. Again, then once we have done this and they already see, okay, they've kind of understand our world, we want to again do some more interpretation of what their current challenges are. Again, once we've done this, be very straightforward. What kind of value can we offer? What kind of, whether it's a lead magnet case study, free audit, what can we offer to them that they can request by simply replying yes, send it over, and making it very easy. And that's kind of how we end the email every single time, with a very easy, low friction call to action. Just like I've prepared here, would it help to see how handled this? Or mind sending this over? And again, there's 100 ways you can design that, but always keep in mind to make it as easy and frictionless for the person receiving the cold email to respond to you. There's, again, different archetypes. And archetypes is just a fancy word I made up. So what we want to do is whenever we write copy and whenever we start a campaign, and this, I hope this is going to help you as well, pick one and write copy for this. So you can, again, pick one. For example, if we select the archetype creative ideas, we know this is usually for prospects where we can share ideas with. That can be, for example, if we are if we're in an ad agency, for example, selling ads for SaaS companies, we can offer an entire ad strategy. We can say, hey, we've drafted 10 creative ads for your company. And if they request it, we can create it and send it over to them. So again, this is different archetypes that you can pick one. You see here clearly what it's best for and kind of follow the key move. You can even put this into any sort of LM and just get some copy written for you that you can then leverage and improve, of course, by yourself. In terms of sequences, once we have written the copy, there's actually, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 different emails we want to send. What we have been doing recently is send 4 emails instead of 3. That really goes against the grain of what most people do, which is either 2 or 3 emails. But this really depends on what kind of campaign you're going for. In this example that I'm sharing with you is that we are sending our first email, and obviously with every objective is that we are wanting a reply. Only difference is that we have that we're asking for some sort of referral in the 3rd email. Again, we are experimenting. And when we are starting from scratch, we have no idea how these campaigns are going to land. So what we're doing is we just want to see how people perceive and reply to these emails. So the first one obviously goes with the strongest signal or observation. That can be new hires, someone who recently raised money, like got the funding, and something we can really observe from the outside. It can even be negative comments on social media about their current vendor, and you slide in saying, hey, I noticed you complained about it. We can actually help with XYZ. The second email should always be a bit different because, again, if they haven't responded to the first email, Unfortunately, it always goes down, the likelihood that someone is going to respond to your cold email. So we have the highest chance of someone replying to our first email, then the second, and then third and fourth are incrementally lower. But we do have the chance to lead with new value, which can be resources, benchmarks, case studies that actually fit to that client we're reaching out to just test another angle with this specific campaign, with this specific ICP. The third one is if we're reaching out, let's say, to the head of marketing, we might want to name drop or just ask that person if there's a better person to reach out to, which we can either name drop and say, hey, is Sarah from your team a better fit? Obviously, this means we need to aggregate the data beforehand so we can incorporate it into our copy. But we can even, like, depending on how technical you are right now, and depending on what kind of company you're working for, if you have the tech stack and whatnot, you can also just improve the copy and say, if there's someone else from your team to reach out to about this topic, so that they at least maybe, and this works very well, that they say, yeah, actually Sarah from our team is the right person to reach out to. And again, we're just being polite. We're just trying to find our way through that company. And since we were always leading with signals and value, people are more likely to be kind than if you're just like asking for a meeting and just, being very, very harsh. The last email is actually some sort of breakup, but again, we spend so much time writing copy, we spend so much time building these lead lists. We don't want to break up with them because it costs the time and money for us to create these lists. If we're like a salesperson at the company, obviously it costs money for the company and not for yourself, but I would never burn these prospects. So what I would do is I would close the loop for now and retarget them 3 months later if they haven't responded at all. Because in 3 months, so many things can change into anyone's life or business, whether it's, I don't know, like the business can suddenly go a bit sideways. They can have problems with their current vendor, depending on, of course, what you are selling. And there's a few checklists I always want you to keep in mind, please, is disable link tracking if you haven't done it before, disable open tracking, text only, which means no HTML. Please don't use HTML. It's also going to trigger lots of these spam filters. And if you haven't done this, stop and reply on, super important. And I've seen in this in the chat, what's a good example of a follow-up that actually adds value? This is a good question, and this is also very unique, of course. Depending on what you're selling, like Slumber Frog, is a good follow-up can be, hey, I've recently seen that you hired someone new and you have something valuable to give. For example, just an example, we're talking a lot to like VP of sales, CEOs that hire salespeople. If I see someone on my LinkedIn feed, or even if we see that this company where we used to talk to has hired someone, we're like, hey, that's awesome. You're just hiring someone new. We actually have an entire onboarding playbook for SDRs that might help you ramp up faster in 14 days instead of 4 weeks. Should I send this over? Boom. If you have like no signals and you just want to write a good follow-up that adds value, one really easy way is put all the information of your business into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you prefer. Say, this is your business. And then also provide context for the entire email thread that you have written, and say, please write me a good follow-up. And you will be surprised that there are going to be good follow-ups that come out of this. Again, I have no idea how technical you are, but this is a very easy way to produce follow-ups, especially when you're dealing with a small number of target accounts. I would 100% put more effort into this and track their socials because you have a small list. But if you have a bigger list and you just need to write lots of follow-ups, I would go. And you're not having tools like Clay. I would only just go with LLM, plug it in, and slightly adjust it for everyone you're sending a follow-up to. There are different kinds of personalization. And I know, guys, this is so much we're covering right now, but this is also very important. It kind of, I mean, there's pyramids in so many different things. And here we also have one. Behavioral signals are the most important ones right now. Like, again, this is for right now, where we see a huge trend on if we can track any social signals, comments, likes, engagements, posts that we can leverage to have good outreach, perfect. Another behavioral signal is website visits. Has someone visited your pricing page, etc.? If you're using tools like RB2B, Vector to track and de-anonymize these website visitors. Business events. Just like I mentioned before, if there's any funding, anything we can track because we are able to track RSS feeds, amazing. Company specifics. So anyone who's hiring, maybe this like head of sales or someone else has left the company or someone has recently joined the company, another great reason to reach out to. The fourth one in personalization is just being very role specific. And I would say this is number 4 and 5 are very easy for everyone to apply, because 1, 2, and 3 means we need to track some sort of signals. If we aren't just lucky by opening LinkedIn, we see this guy posted and we're like, perfect, I'm going to slide in. But 4 and 5 are very easy for everyone, because role specific just means we need to aggregate a list of, let's say, VP sales. And we can, of course, in any leadless billing tool, we can also select the company size. So we can narrow it down very easily and come with a bit more of a generic copy. But again, that can still work because we don't need to always have personalization in place. But I will tell you this, like some examples on how we do it sometimes for our clients as well. Because just like I said, all these rules, follow them if you're getting 0 results. But if you are getting great results already, feel free to break all these rules, because that's what we constantly do for our clients. We experiment so much. The fourth and the fifth number 5 just means we are going after a specific industry. And yeah, we are kind of like reaching out to everyone, because depending on if you're coming from a startup or a scale up, if you're doing like some sort of market research, you can just go for an entire industry, select software, select, I don't know, the entire sales department, the marketing department, and just reach out to everyone. But remember, the lower you go, the easier it is for everyone else to do it. And just like I said in the beginning, there's so much noise right now in cold email space, like literally so much. And the easier your outreach is, and if you're targeting a crowded market, let's say you're targeting the SaaS space in California, everyone is targeting them, everyone. And this is pretty crazy in cold email to stand out if you're just doing something role specific or not even any specifics. So keep that in mind. The easier you have it yourself, the easier everyone else has it. And this is always pretty crazy. When you are thinking about building campaigns, also please keep in mind that this spray and pray era is over. You can still have success if you are targeting a market that is not getting any cold emails and you have a very good offer. Man, like you can go ahead and send like, I don't know, 5,000-10,000 emails every single day if you have enough of a big market, a great offer, and they never receive it, and you will get great results. But if you are targeting a more of like a crowded market, think of more micro campaigns. It can be like 400, 500 leads, or even less. I would never go below 250 because like it's really literally the bare minimum I would test, because if we're contacting 250 people, it's really hard to make any sort of assumptions if that campaign is going well or not if you scale it up. So there's like different buckets. And again, these buckets also are coming from the personalization pyramid, that we are trying to build different campaigns based on signals. So recently funded, hiring sales roles, tech stack, change, which we can also track, industry pain, or no signal. so where we can just, again, put everyone else in that we haven't gotten any signals. And at the end of the at the end, we can definitely review your scripts, Guilherme. Sorry if I butcher your name. And this is just another case study from one of our clients. It's a SaaS company, and they have this coordination SaaS tool that helps construction builders, construction site owners to have better operations. So the client that they're building the project for has better visibility, they have better communications, inbuilt translators, because lots of times we have foreign workers on these sites. So again, tons of things why it really makes sense. And I was seriously amazed by their product. And instead of just scraping Google Maps data and saying, okay, we're reaching out to everyone on, I don't know, everyone on the East and West Coast in the US who has some sort of construction business, we try to leverage signals. And what we did was, before we started the campaign, of course, we really sat down and thought, okay, what kind of signals are important for these people? Why they would even consider a solution? And there's 3 signals. One that was honestly the best performing was when they were hiring project managers. Because when someone is hiring project managers, in this case, we were able to conclude that they have some sort of coordination issue. They have some sort of coordination need. The second and the third signal are okay, I would say. Someone winning a public contract, obviously for larger construction companies than someone who just builds a house. And the third one, when someone is looking for any help, whether it's admin, etc., and they have open jobs and they are referring to spreadsheets. Long story short, we have this hiring project managers here in this we have the public contract in this example, where we can again congratulate them, because again, such a easy way to congratulate. But like I explained in the beginning, we are not just using this one-line signal where we say congrats. By the way, let's hop on a call. Let's book a meeting. Buy our solution. No. We put a bit of interpretation in it, which means, and this is the second sentence, projects like that usually mean 3 to 4 new subs to coordinate, and that's where the spreadsheets start breaking. Again, 3 to 4 new subs is such construction lingo. Like they already know what this means. They know what 2 GCs means. It's so niche and so specific in their language that they were like, wow, these people really understand it. Because cool thing is, our client, they also have a construction company, so we were able to again talk with them and be like, okay, how would they really want it to sound? And again, we have a public signal. We are talking to their current moment, which is again, they're just looking for a new hire, and this means they have a current need and challenge that they need more coordination. We are coming in with some sort of social proof, response time from 3 days to same day, which is huge because every single day in construction costs so much money. And we're just asking for 10 minutes for their time, because in this case, it was a bit hard to just send them the free software because their onboarding of that software wasn't really super easy. So their process was, okay, we still want to book a meeting. That's something, please keep this always in mind. Micro campaigns are definitely winning in 2026 and onwards. We are stepping away from these super big lists. I don't want to say they will never ever work, and please forget about them, because it really depends on your market and who you're reaching out to. But again, if we're reaching out to any crowded market, don't do big lists anymore. Please stop it. And the only thing and the only opportunity you have to reach out to big lists in a crowded market, if you have an amazing offer. And I mean, amazing offer is like top tier, like people will be so happy, whether it's removing bad Google reviews from your Google account, and they just say yes. Like, man, so, how easy, you know, people can say yes super easily, and everyone will say yes. Like, you can reach out to the entire world. But if you are reaching out to a crowded market, think of stacking these signals that we already discussed on this pyramid, and you will see higher reply rates. If you do the copywriting correctly, using, for example, the Spark framework, and of course, you're not sending from one inbox 30, 40 emails per day, but rather doing like 10 emails per inbox per day. And this is all super technical stuff, the entire deliverability thing. When I was in sales, I was never dealing with these issues. Obviously, right now we have to do it because we're sending up to like 30,000 cold emails per month for one of our clients. But if you have any questions to these deliverability things, feel free to add me on LinkedIn and we can just chat in the DMs, and I'm really happy to help you. Whether you're like leading a sales team, you're a sales rep, or you're a founder. And then there's, of course, a few things to keep in mind. Obviously, not everyone is super technical, so I want to keep it as easy to follow as possible. Whenever we are having campaigns, we easily see, and we can easily track these metrics of reply rates. I mean, these days, anything that is above 5% is already pretty nice. And just if you can increase the volume, just crank up the volume, import more lists, import more leads into your campaign, and definitely follow up. If you have less than 5%, let's say 2 to 5, you are doing something right, 100%. But if you want, and again, go back to the Spark framework, where we track, where we see the proof, the social proof we are embedding, the hirings, like the signal we are referencing to in that copy. Take the copy that is already generating 2 to 5% and dissect it, and only change one variable and launch more campaigns. This gets a bit, I would say, boring for any like salesperson or anyone who is like not really into experimenting and engineering. But by doing so, you are able to hopefully find an even better campaign that again goes through the roof and crushes this 5% plus reply rate. The other one, like anything 1 to 2%, seriously, this is really low, and I would just scrap the campaign for now. Like scrap the copy, scrap the targeting, and if you still see some positive replies, and again, like this is just the overall reply rates, but if you're seeing some positive replies from this, please, of course, don't scrap it completely. If there's still like 1 or 2 positive ones, follow the explanation from the 2 to 5% one, which means please only change one variable. And why only one? Because sometimes we think, oh man, this is all pretty bad, I just want to write a new campaign. But if you've got like 1 or 2, a few positive responses, just change one variable, because if you change it and then the reply rate gets bigger, you know for sure that this has been the reason why it got better. And if not, and it goes down, change the variable again. This is really boring. Honestly, you're just like experimenting and you're hoping that but again, if you are, and again, good question from the chat, if reply rate is less than 1%, this is a good question, because we are sending cold emails into the void. So, and unless we don't know if we know we are reaching the inbox, if we've done like an inbox placement test, then it can be the targeting, the entire copywriting, the angle. So I would scrap it and rebuild from scratch. It can mean if we're targeting VP of sales currently hiring SDRs, maybe just don't refer to them hiring and come with a different lead magnet, a different value proposition. It's a lot about experimenting, and testing lots of different angles. I can tell you from a recent client, we've launched in 1 month 30 different campaigns, 30. And some campaigns gotten 0. Some other campaigns were really high performing. But what I just want to take away, what I want you to take away from this is it really needs lots of testing. If you are in a company that has no playbooks, nothing established, you really need to experiment and be creative. And feel free to, take Claude, take Gemini, take ChatGPT if you're still using it, and push it in, create some more ideas, do some more research, and just think about what is that person doing, what are they interested in, what are their problems, and start from scratch. Yes, 100%. And the data itself, if you have verified emails, if you are targeting the right persona, which we can easily do with hundreds of list building tools these days, it's most likely the campaign itself, which means the copywriting, the angle, all of this. Plus, you can also, and again, if you're sending to 500 people or more, it's definitely something wrong with your campaign. Because you're not getting 0 replies, this means you're not getting read. And I've already told you a few times during the session, please, if you can implement one of these 5 things today, it's going to improve your outbound campaigns 100%. Whether it's applying the Spark framework, which again is a very easy framework. You can even Google it, I think. It's nothing I made up. It's like scientifically proven, so to say. No link tracking, no open tracking, no HTML. Please start segmenting your lists by putting them into different buckets instead of just having one big list. Because again, the easier it is for you to do outreach, the easier it's for every competitor, every other sales rep, and every other founder, and you will just be in this big chunk of messages that aren't really personalized. Please always test one variable at the time, and if you are not getting over 200 cents, like 200 people contacted, don't make any assumptions, like at least 200 cents. Like I would honestly go a bit further now and say 250. And don't kill a campaign unless you have achieved 250 people contacted. And the last one is every follow-up, please, with value. Whether it's something you have observed yourself manually, whether you are able to track any sort of signals, whether it's through Play or any other tools. And then please, again, if you have no idea how to write a good follow-up, no problem. Like seriously, I've done this too. You plug the entire email thread into any other ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and just say, please write me a good follow-up. Boom. If you give it some context about your offering and their company, it will get, of course, better. Difficult to do at scale this way if you're doing it manually, but this is a very easy way to get some ideas on how to write follow-ups. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What I wanted to teach you, what I wanted to really give you from these recent years of running cold emails at scale. And again, I was a salesperson before. I know lots of these struggles. I know it's super hard sometimes if you're having a pretty full day to learn any tech things like Clay, but these are things you don't need to be very techy in order to implement them, at least not until the signals.
Well, Zanke, that was super cool. Honestly, this is one of the structured webinars that I ever attended. So you just gave the essentials, truly the essentials. So guys, you just like pick one of the slides. You can always go back, just pick the information and implement it in your life to your situation. Okay, so we have questions in the chat, but I also promised that I have a cringe email, so I think we'll have a little bit fun. I think after, percepting all that information, and let's have some fun. So I will show you the cold email that I got to my inbox. And I will read you as if I am a recipient, that I was a recipient. So the subject line, give me your money. And no, Xenia, your relatives have not been kidnapped by me. Xenia's sales is just a value exchange, meaning that by saying I want your money, I actually mean is that I have something that's worth 2, 3, or even 4 times more than what I'm asking for. Of course, before sending any Stripe invoice links, I need to convince you that my product actually worth your time. How about we skip any my long talk? You reply yes, and I send you a demo that literally shortened than 2 minutes. And this was the first email. So Zonka, what do you think about this first email?
I mean, first is the subject line, give me your money. It's pretty crazy that this has landed in your inbox, because give me your money, like money is definitely something that screams spam. Most likely it can also kill the deliverability. So good on that person that they landed in your inbox. Um, I mean, trying to be edgy with this. I mean, there's also this other subject line that went viral 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I saw you in the Epstein
Oh,
files. But I mean, probably most people would already stop reading and that after this, because like you're clearly stepping on everyone's toes. I mean, you're not even just talking about you, they're also pulling in your relatives. Crazy. Like, what the hell? And there's really nothing about you. It's just about them. There's literally nothing about you. Nothing about you, your company, no signals, like no observation about you in your role, etc. There's no value proposition, like what is their service, what's their product, what
yep.
kind of problem does it solve. There's again like no personalization, nothing to your role, company, or pain, and overall the entire formatting of that email is pretty weird. Like I've no idea why they broke it up. Like then what's I'm asking for, and then they break it. I don't know. Like the entire formatting itself is also weird. But what I see is they haven't used any HTML. Pretty
Yeah.
nice. At least this probably a reason why they got into your inbox.
But I may have been one of the first leads, if they had a huge list and I was like the first one, first in the list. So I got them to the inbox and then they flew to the spam. I mean, all of the rest of the emails. So yeah, lucky that they reached my inbox and I opened that. I truly love such cringe emails. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
I want to justify. So in fact, this word actually, uh, you told that word during your during your session. You need to be creative. So we can think that this person tried to be creative in a certain way because this email truly stand out in my inbox. But here's actually this is the reason why I wanted Zonke to comment and actually say my thing. So creativity also has borders. So you should not go above that. You should not cross the line because definitely you won't receive any replies, or you will receive replies but they won't be like I'm interested or the desired yes. And more importantly, and it's obviously will be the way out, people will block you or report you as spam, and you just got to lists way faster than you could, in fact. But yeah, so this is just the example that was for fun. And don't be too creative. Don't be too creative. Amazing. um we have a comment. Great example. Had one too. When I after 3 pins, I guess I received four saying, "Give me feedback, please." For heaven's sake. Yeah. Okay. So Zonke, we're having some questions. Are you ready to respond?
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, one thing.
So okay.
Oh, one thing I would just to close your email that you have received is when you are writing and when you are about to send an email, ask yourself two things. And I know so many of you guys, you all have empathy. Would you really respond and enjoy reading this email? One. The second one is, would you send this email to a friend or colleague? Because if not, seriously, like who would send this email that you've received to a friend or colleague? Definitely not. Yeah. Should I read the first email to be?
Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I just want to add to that thing. But I think the person that sent that email was pretty sure that was an amazing email. That was an amazing idea because if the person didn't think, like they didn't hit. So, okay, let's get back to the questions. Should I write the first email to be read by a prospect and think that there is no sales for this company just to wait to start chatting, then selling them?
Yes. Good question. And that's all we want. Like what we want is start more conversations. And by cold email, we can send so many emails at scale so that we are hopefully able to start lots of conversations. So these days, at least, and again, this really depends on your offering. Whatever you have in some sort of solution, let's say you have, I don't know, a solution that like a medicine that makes you magically lose 5 kilograms of fat. And someone says, Sönke, do you want to buy this medicine? I have so much social proof and whatever. I would buy it immediately from cold email. Like, why not? Because I'm happy if I could lose 5 kilograms of fat because it's such a good offering. And it's so easy to say yes. So depending on what you're selling and what your product is, it's still okay to ask for sales and to ask for a conversation, a meeting right in the first email. If you are selling with a medium offer, which most of us have, most of us are in companies that have medium amazing offers, into a more crowded market, definitely don't ask for meetings because you want to provide value, and please keep in mind you're just planting seeds. Like if you have seen the movie Inception where they are trying to plant ideas, that's what you're doing with cold email. Like it has definitely shifted from we just want to have meetings and conversations fast, that we rather want to provide some sort of value. So if you are reaching out again and again, that then they are going to hop on a call, or then they are going to convert into a customer. But for now, try to lead with value, and you also are 100% going to feel better than if you're just trying to sell. It's also something that at least I feel in myself when I'm generally sending cold emails for our company. And I know, hey, I'm really providing amazing value here. Of course, it's a bit sad when I see people aren't responding sometimes, but whenever people are responding, I'm like, man, I'm definitely going to help you right now. And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yep. Okay. What do I include in cold emails if I don't have a lot of metrics and results to share?
Great question, especially when you're starting out with your company, or you've just launched, you've just joined a startup that has not so much social proof right now. Definitely have some sort of competition when it comes to pricing. So try to lead with a free guarantee, a free test month if you're selling services, free trial if you're selling a SaaS, just so it's easier for them. Because right now, what you want is to have as many conversations as possible, because you want to land your first few clients so you can learn from them and adapt. Whether it's your service or your product, you're able to speak with your customers. And again, try to not think of much than just getting a yes very easily by reducing the friction, which is lots of times the budget. If someone comes to you with and maybe some more research you've done into that client, why you would like to work with them. I have no idea what you're selling, but I hope this answers your question as well.
And we have questions like they are pretty similar. People are asking about the example of a good email, or the example of top performing subject lines, or top performing email copies. Just like what would you say Because I think that depends. And what you're trying to do with the question, like, tell me a good subject line, is that you'd like to try this subject line. You know, the best subject line is quick question. You know, for some people it works, but for some people it don't. But anyway, Zonke is the one who is the expert here today. And what are your thoughts about that? Can you give us examples on top performing subject lines from your experience for your clients? And like email copy, I don't know how it will present it, but at least some kind of, I think that Zonke actually shared the pattern that he's using, and that's the successful Spark framework for his emails. So yeah, please.
Yeah, one campaign we're doing for a media production company from Germany right now. We target head of marketings at different e-commerce companies, and the subject line is literally content plus company name, and that's it. And it's so simple and straightforward because they produce content for companies. It's like, again, it doesn't have to be super edgy like we've seen in the negative example. It can be very straightforward. It can just another very easy example if you're selling to salespeople or head of sales. Just, right now we're about to enter Q2. Boom. Sales boost for Q2. Or outlook for Q2, pipeline for Q2, if you're selling lead gen services like we're doing. Try to understand the lingo of that person and how internal emails can look like. Again, you don't need to know this all by yourself. Just put in the persona and the industry and ask any sort of any sort of AI, how's that going?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry that I interrupted you. Please get back to explaining. I just interrupted you with the example. We have examples of the email copies that people are sharing with us in the chat. So they are asking for you to comment what is wrong or what is right. I will try to zoom in, like just have a quick look and say the key points that people should concentrate on and improve.
I mean, not being super nitpicky, but I would definitely say, would you like to have 15 minutes call? That's definitely a first typo I see. I mean, again, depending on if you're running this at scale, and first of all, this copy is definitely not bad, definitely okay. What I would suggest is if we have some sort of observation, and what, again, in this case, what we're selling is 3D short form content for landing pages. I mean, 3D content is super sick right now. I love these new websites, so it's really something cool. Again, depending on who we are targeting, this is already going to change the entire copy, because we're reaching out for a head of marketing or a CEO. We need to adapt the language. But let's say if we are reaching out to head of marketing, I would change it to something into, we checked out the company's landing page. It can be a screenshot if you're sending these manually, a specific observation, and then I would definitely break down the 3D explainers or the 3D content visuals and combine it with any sort of social proof. So again, depending on who we're reaching out to, if we say we're reaching out to a head of marketing, I would say we make short 3D explainers, 3D visuals for SaaS teams, and then insert a company. We typically see a lift in landing page conversions or any other metrics we can boost because they see their product in action. Because SaaS is always very hard to imagine and not very tangible. So these 3D explainers would probably help a lot. And maybe not asking for a call, but say, I mocked up a quick concept for you. Want me to send it over? And I mean, if someone offers me a really cool 3D visual and I have no idea about 3D visuals and how much it takes to design it, if it's like 1 hour, don't do it, don't offer it. But if it takes you like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and you can mock up something fast, 100% lead with a mock-up so they can see what you have designed. If you want to go one step further and you have like 50 clients you really want to work with, create this upfront and send it over to them and be like, hey, I've created this, so they can take a look. I hope this helps you in some sort of way, because you're definitely up to something good with this.
Thank you. So, 1 second. We have also some other copy, but it's, as far as the chat, not contain all the copies, so it's just like broken, and I won't show you guys. And also we have timing, so we come up to the end. If you have any questions, Zonke is available on LinkedIn, so you can find him and follow and connect and then have conversations. I would say that webinar was so amazing. I truly enjoyed that. And I love the way everything structured was, because I'm a fan of structures, and for me that was super cool. And the people out there who love structures as well, they will, they will see this as like things. Yep. Anything you want to add for the ending?
Yeah, guys, I am very happy for all the questions you had. They were really, really good. And if there's anyone we couldn't answer, because I think I couldn't answer all questions at the end, is feel free to reach out on LinkedIn to me. Like, you see my name, it's very special, it's very hard. Just push it into LinkedIn and you will see me.
We shared your link in the chat right now, so you have the time to copy Zonke's LinkedIn profile link and connect with him. Also, he has super cool content, and honestly, I wanted to ask this during the webinar, but I won't take a lot of time. His recent post about the specifics of the German cold emailing. Mwah, that's super cool. So better check this out. And thank you, Zonke, for this amazing presentation. Thank you, guys. You were so active, and you give me the understanding that this webinar was super useful for you. So when there is like a lot of conversation going, that means super cool. We had such an amazing time. So thank you all, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Xenia. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.